Good evening, everybody. Happy Friday night. We made it through an end of the week. Now, I know it's highly unlikely that I make an evening video, but in this situation, it's important. I got to get this off my chest, and maybe some of you guys don't even know what's going on, but I want to discuss this. Before I even start this video, I want to make it perfectly clear that in no way, none, do I condone the actions of the police officers in this situation? None, nada, zip, zilch, zero. Okay. What I do want to do is show you and explain how the whole country, if not the whole world, has lost their collective minds. And when we have police officers doing something like this, we all need to wake up and acknowledge that something's very, very wrong. Okay. This is why myself and probably many other channels will tell you we need to protect ourselves from the bad guys. And sometimes the bad guys wear uniforms. They're out there, okay? We've now gotten to a place in society where you can't trust anyone. This ain't Mayberry and Andy Griffith anymore, guys. Okay. On a spectrum of Andy Griffith and Mad Max, we're way over here. Okay. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of background on this before we get into it. Okay. In 2022, last year, Memphis was ranked as the most dangerous metro area in the United States. Your risk of being a victim of a property crime was 1 in 27. Your risk of being a victim of violent crime was 1 in 74. Yeah, Memphis was more dangerous than Chicago, St. Louis, Detroit, Baltimore, Philadelphia. Yeah, okay. Tennessee, right? Oh, couldn't happen there. Elvis, couldn't happen there. Yeah, okay. Those are the facts. Now, in 2021, Memphis created a unit by the acronym SCORPION, okay? Street Crimes Operation to Restore Peace in Our Neighborhoods. I love all these idiotic, childish acronyms that they come up for stuff. It's like, oh, we have the acronym, now let's put the words to it, right? Its mission is to reduce violent crime throughout the city. That's a good thing, all right? Like I said, after all, Memphis is the most violent city in the United States. So on January 7th, around 8 o'clock in the evening, Tyre Nichols was pulled over by the police in Memphis for suspected reckless driving. Now, that could be speeding X amount of miles an hour over the speed limit. Could have been taking a turn too wide and going over the yellow line. Oh, just in case you don't know, yellow lines are a suggestion in Tennessee if you ever drive here, okay? People don't really pay attention to them. The authorities claimed they approached his vehicle. A confrontation ensued, and Nichols ran away. He fled on foot. Okay? The officers said they pursued Nichols, made another attempt to take him into custody, but while trying to make an arrest, a second confrontation occurred. This one. Yeah. Nichols was eventually placed in police custody. Okay. He complained of shortness of breath. He was taken to the hospital, where he was said to be in critical condition from that beating, and died 3 days later. Now to give you this, all 5 former officers, they've all been fired, okay, that beat Tyre Nichols to death were part of that Scorpion unit. Okay. All 5 members were also black, as well as Tyre Nichols was. Okay. The 5 former officers have all been charged with second-degree murder, aggravated kidnapping, aggravated assault, official misconduct, and official oppression. 4 of the 5 have been released from custody after posting somewhere between a $250,000 and a $350,000 bond. The other one will probably be out today sometime. Okay. Now, if you go back, this is similar to what we had, but not the same, as George Floyd in 2020. Okay, cops arrested and killed a suspect. We'll use that term. The biggest difference here is the race of the officers. In the George Floyd case, they were white. In this case, they were black. And the background of the victim. George Floyd was a drug addict who just tried to pass a counterfeit $20 bill. Tyre Nichols was a gainfully employed father of a 4-year-old son who had no history of drugs, no history of guns, and no history of crime. In the most dangerous city in the United States, this guy was clean. Okay. Of course, that leads to the unanswered question. Why did he try to run from the police when he was pulled over for something as minor as suspected reckless driving? Okay. Now, I know everybody could go on to all sorts of speculation on this. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. All right. Like I said, Nichols hadn't just tried to pass counterfeit money. He wasn't high on drugs. Okay. He wasn't a nuisance to the city either. He didn't have a rap sheet a mile long. Yet here we are, getting ready for another night or another weekend of riots. Remember Kenosha? That was because of George Floyd. Kyle Rittenhouse remembers it well. You probably remember his name. What could happen this weekend? Some of you guys live near Memphis or in Memphis, okay? But this isn't only about Memphis. Atlanta, New York City, Minneapolis, those cities have already come out and said to their public, prepare for riots over this, okay? Fueling the fire is not exactly what I'd call a good thing, and we're getting a lot of that. The Memphis NAACP president, Van Turner, who's an attorney, by the way, said, quote, "We're going to stand united, but we're going to protest. Y'all pray for my city. Tonight will be one of the toughest nights that we've ever experienced." Why didn't you tell everybody to stay home? Okay. Civil rights attorney Ben Crump, who has been retained by the Nichols family, said the race of the offenders does not matter. It's the culture that allows them that allows them to think that they can do this. I'm not going to disagree. Okay. But still, don't try to call for violence, which you are kind of subtly doing there. Memphis Police Chief Carolyn Davis, quote, "I expect our citizens to exercise their First Amendment right to protest, to demand action and results, but we need to ensure our community is safe in the process." Well, I'll agree with the second part, because after all, that is your job, okay? But expecting people to protest, what is this going to be like the CNN definition of peaceful protest tonight? Let Memphis burn? Okay. How about Ben Crump's co-counsel, Antonio Romanucci? We're asking Chief Davis to disband the Scorpion unit and disband the unit immediately. Oh, okay, so let's just stop policing. Defund the police again. Are we going to start hearing this crap again? Okay. Please, somebody, please enlighten me to the last peaceful protest that occurred when we had situations like this. Dallas? Nope. Minneapolis? Nope. Louisville? Nope. Portland? Nope. Hell, we can go back to Rodney King. Nope. Okay. Why groups think this is a excuse to burn, loot, murder, rape, pillage, whatever, I have no idea. Okay. I'll agree. We have a huge problem with over-aggressive cops. Situations like this one are happening way, way, way too frequently. Okay. But there's also a problem with crime. We don't have to have aggressive cops if we don't have aggressive criminals, okay? If crime wasn't so out of control, the cops probably wouldn't be so on edge, okay? Now, by no means am I defending any rogue cop. And in this instance, there was only a sliver of a reason for any physical force to be used. And by that, I can't think any more than maybe tackling the guy. That would be it, okay? After all, Tyre Nichols did run, but I gotta think that 5 cops could subdue somebody without beating them to a bloody pulp. All right. This is the America we live in now, where crime is everywhere, where a few cops are on a power trip. I personally, I still believe 99% of them are good. Okay. It's that 1% that completely pisses me off. We live in a society where the court system doesn't care. Hell, we'll just release everybody without bail. No big deal. Where the family unit has been destroyed. Okay. What's the population now? Something like 50% of kids are raised in single-parent households. Okay. Where God has been abandoned. Hell, there's a war on Christianity in this country. Okay. Where morals aren't taught. We go back 30 years and look at this. Nobody has any. Okay. Where we've become a society where violence is accepted, expected, and actually promoted, like I just told you about the quotes from these people, where hatred of people that differ from you is celebrated. I mean, Christ, let's take a look at Ilhan Omar, Kamala Harris's quotes over the last few years, okay? And where our rights as citizens no longer matter. This wasn't a racial issue, guys. This was black cops and a black victim. This is a societal issue. This is what we have ahead of us. This is what we have to prepare for, protect ourselves from, because there ain't nobody coming to help you. Personally, I want my damn country back. Pinball out.